Okay, so we're so excited to have you all here um, to know your why with Teresa and Mathilde. Today, we're just going to be diving into our purpose for this season and um, a purpose for the end of our lives as well.
Okay, so welcome everybody. We're very happy you're here. So first, we're going to introduce each other. We're both coaches with the Wholeness School. So if you don't know about the Wholeness School, we're going to talk about it. Then we're going to ask you to introduce yourself. So very quickly, just your name, where you're from, and why you're here tonight. Then we're going to show you a video that's in the master class. So if you do take the class with us, you will see this video again. And it's by January Donovan. She's the founder of the Wholeness School. Then we're going to have some questions for you so you can gain some awareness and of where you are and then dive a little deeper. And then we'll talk about the offers that we have with the school. And then if you have any questions left, we can answer them. So, my name is Mathilde. So if you don't know me, it says on my little thing, I'm from France, and I am actually in France right now. I've been a coach for about a year. I was a student of the class myself, with Teresa being my coach, a couple of years ago, and it was awesome. I didn't realize how much I needed this. I've always been school oriented. I went to different schools in different countries. I did a lot of things academic related, but then I don't know, it just didn't fulfill me at all. But this class is all about understanding myself and taking control of my life and just made me very excited. I just thought everybody should take this class. So I became a coach. So I need to thank Teresa for this. So I'm very happy we're doing this together tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, Mathilde. It's been so fun getting to work with you. And my name is Teresa McMahon. I am from Rockford, Illinois. And can you hear okay?
Yes.
Volume is low. Um, turn it up a little bit. So, is that a little better? Okay. So my name is Teresa McMahon, and I'm from Rockford, Illinois. And my background is I studied psychology at Benedictine College out in Kansas. I'm one of 14 kids, so I have come from a big Catholic family. And I've worked in the field of domestic violence and sexual assault about 6 years previously, 6 or 7 years. And before that, I also was a youth minister for a little while at a Catholic church. And I encountered the women's school or the wholeness school about 4 years ago when I was just feeling super busy in my life and very stressed and just would go through kind of a cycle of burnout very often in my life. And I knew there was more that I needed to do or more that I wanted out of life, but I just wasn't sure how to start or where to go from where I was. And so when I started going through the Women's School Master class that we'll share a little bit more with you about, um, I just, it took a little bit of time. It didn't happen overnight, but there was a point when I just realized, yeah, I didn't have to live that busy life. I learned how to live a more peaceful and free life. And that's continued on since then. And after going through this course, I just felt the most peaceful I've ever felt in my life. And it's definitely been a journey, but it's been so good. And there's always lots of ups and downs. And, there was always still the same amount of things going on, but it was really my mindset that changed and kind of just had a different perspective on life. So I'm really grateful for this class. It's really been so transformative in my own life. And yeah, I became a coach because I just wanted to help other people experience a transformation as I had experienced. So we're grateful that you guys are all here today, and we hope that you get a little bit out of this tonight too. So now we'd love to hear from you. If you're comfortable, feel free to unmute yourself and just share your name, where you're from, and what brought you here today. What made you join tonight? And also, if you're open, what are you hoping to gain from today's session of Know Your Why? So you can either unmute yourself or just type it in the chat. We'd love to know where you're all from.
Okay, I'll unmute myself.
Thanks,
My
Peggy.
name is Peggy Glenn, and I'm from St. Charles, Illinois. And Mathilde's conversation with Mathilde brought me here today. What am I hoping to gain from today's session? Well, I'd like to know a little bit more about the wholeness coaching, and yeah, to see what Mathilde is up to with this. And I'm considerably older than these two wellness coaches, so I'm at a different stage of life, and my nest is starting to empty, and I'm kind of back and forth in a bit of a crossroads of trying to figure out what my next stage is, but also allow God to just put me where He needs me and where I'm supposed to be. Because I find myself still quite busy with various needs of family members and things. So anyway, already too much. Sorry.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Peggy. I'm glad you're here tonight. This is great.
Mathilde.
Share as much as you want. That's why we're here.
Would anyone else like to share where they're from, why they're here today? And also, Peggy, I just want you to know that you're not alone. There's been many, many empty nesters who have gone through this course and have just, whatever season of life we're in, there's always a new purpose for that season. And that's what we're here tonight to discover. Hi, Lil, welcome.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
I'm so sorry I'm late. I have 3 different appointments tonight and I just got off track, so I'm so sorry.
No problem. We're so happy you're here.
Mathilde, I'm so happy to see you.
Hello, it's good to see you.
Yeah, so Lil, would you like to share where you're coming from? What brought you here today?
I'm from Rockford, Illinois. I'm Mathilde invited me, and I have to learn more about this, but I've had a lot of changes in my life in the last few years, so I thought it might be good when Mathilde asked me to join in. I was happy to do so. I have something to show you. I have a new member of my family that I adopted from a rescue place on Saturday. This is Trico.
Oh, so cute.
And he's named after my parents. My mom was Teresa. My dad was Kono. And my dad called my mom Tree and my mom called my dad Ko, so Trico.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, glad we're getting to meet Trico too.
Yes, good name.
Mm.
Awesome. Okay, well, if anyone else would like to share, feel free to either unmute yourself or just type in the comments or in the chat. But I think we're going to start with the next section. So we're going to play a little video. This is by January Donovan. She is the founder of the Wholeness School. And she's a mom of 8. She lives in Ave Maria, Florida, with her and her husband. And she's just such an amazing person, such an amazing role model. And Mathilde and I both look up to her so much. And we've learned so much from her. So we're so excited we get to share a little bit of her with you. And just as you're listening, feel free to take notes because January speaks in gold and wisdom. She speaks a little fast sometimes, so taking notes really, really helps. So we will start the video. So Mathilde, let me know if you can hear. Okay.
Intended us with a commission.
And so, as Mathilde said, this is from a part of the women's school, one of the courses that they offer. And it's it's about knowing your why and discovering your purpose.
Welcome to the New Woman Masterclass, Class 1, Design a Life of Purpose, Lesson 1, Know Your Why. We're going to dig deep into really, why are you here? What is the purpose of your existence here on earth? So in this class, we're going to start by understanding the consequence of a woman without a purpose. Number 2, we're going to talk about how to discover your purpose at the season of your life, the purpose in every arena of your life, and also the purpose for the legacy at the end of your life. And so we're going to kind of walk through the journey. Now, what I want you to think about is that at the end of this class, lesson 1, you're not all of a sudden going to discover your purpose. It is a journey of discovering who you are, what you want, what you don't want, and why you're here. And so all I want you to do is to actually think about your why. Think about why you're here, why you do what you do. And our whole goal is to be fulfilled as a woman. And without a purpose, we're not going to have a sense of meaning in our life. And so what we want to do is think about really why you are here in this world. So first, let's begin by identifying what purpose means. Purpose means that it's why you exist. It's why you're here. It's why you do something. It is behind the reason why you're here on earth. And I think that needs to be important for us to think about, that you're not born by chance. When you think about a little girl, when you think about yourself as a little girl, I want you to think that you were born with an irreplaceable mission in your heart. No child is born without a mission to fulfill. It's our God-given design. Our creator is original design. Original design means that as he intended us with a commission. Really, he sent us out for a purpose. Now, I want to give you evidence of why you are so unique as a human and a woman. And oftentimes we don't think about how rare we are in our combination. This is why we doubt ourselves. We don't understand that our purpose is irreplaceable, because by sheer evidence alone, we don't think about the combination of all the probability that got you in this time in history. So number 1, when you think about who you are, your specific circumstances, environment is shaping you. The state that you lived in, the circumstance of your family, maybe there was something challenging. Maybe you lived in an area where, there was a lot of hardship. That shaped you. Number 2, also the circumstances in which you lived in the world, who the president was, who perhaps the famous people were that you looked up to. All of that influenced your understanding of your life now. Number 3, all the modern achievements. If you were born, when there was no cell phone, it shaped the way you thought about communication. Whereas if you were born just recently, it also shaped the way you think about communication. You might not even have any understanding what it's like to write letters that took a week or 2 weeks to arrive. It's shaping you. Compounding that, your unique DNA that's unique to you and you alone, the trillions of cells in your body that's constantly changing and rejuvenating, the neural connections that you are born with, which means that when you were born with $100 billion, not $100 billion, 100 billion neurons in your brain. These are wirings that are waiting to be wired. And those are all wired through your unique experience, right? If you are in an environment where you are taught a specific faith, that becomes part of who you are. Literally, the wirings in your brain gets connected. Just like that this is a pen, through the process of repetition, that if I tell you this was a banana, you'd be like, Junior, that's so silly. It's not a banana. It's a pen. Why? Because literally it's ingrained. It was neurologically wired in your brain, which we'll talk about even further later on. Your unique combination of your gifts, your personality, your aptitude, the things that you like, your family, your parents, a set of parents, your siblings, your grandmother, the things that you suffered for, your wounds, all shape your perception. Now, what I want you to think about is this unique combination makes you so irreplaceable, because who will have the same combination in this world? No one in the past and no one in the future. But the question is, do you believe in this irreplaceable combination that you have that's so unique, nobody will ever be another woman like you, which then means that you have something here to offer that is unique to you. Think about your purpose in the place of history. Think about the billions of people that have come through and their unique purpose that's unique to their unique combination, which gives you evidence that what you offer the world is so unique, so irreplaceable, that if you don't fulfill your God-given purpose, there is a hole in the tapestry in the history of life. There's something that you were created for. Imagine if Mother Teresa never sought out her purpose to build a home for the poor. Imagine if, Einstein's mother never fulfilled her purpose as a mother who didn't reject her son when the school system rejected Einstein. Imagine the purpose of every, I would say, role model that you have if they did not fulfill their purpose. But what we often think is that we lay in bed at night, we don't think, what's my purpose now? It's not something that we actually constantly think about. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason because our life is going so fast and it's so busy. But the truth is that your purpose is so irreplaceable and is so unique to you. And this is what I want you to take home today. As you listen to this, you say, you know what? My purpose is unique to me. It's unique to my season of life, and it's unique to every part of my life. And we're going to go through why this is, which means that nobody else can fulfill why you're here. Nobody else can fulfill your purpose. So if you don't, who will? Your purpose is not contingent on what season of your life you're in, you mom, college, empty nester. Every season of your life has a unique mission. My purpose as a young mom to start a school for women continues on as my purpose right now to not build a school for women, but also a coaching school. It's evolved through time. My purpose as a single woman was to train myself to find the right person in my life, to train myself on the skills that I need to be a responsible woman. Is now different in my purpose when I became a mom, when I, became, when I wrote a book. Every season of my life has had a purpose. So is your life right now. There's no season of your life that does not have a unique purpose, which means that there's no meaning, right? All of a sudden we think motherhood, I'm a new mom, there must be no purpose right now. No, that is a lie that you've been sold, and you have to resist that. Every circumstance in your life, whether it's challenging or good or happy, maybe there's a trauma, maybe there's a tragedy, that too has its purpose. If you see all the people that are suffering some of the greatest tragedy and they share what their life is, it serves the purpose of the people around them. It's almost a reminder of how great we need to be grateful with our own life. Your purpose does not mean that you have to have it all figured out. You have to have your ducks in a row. If your purpose is to write a book, you can't wait until you're a great writer to write a book. You actually have to move towards your purpose. And then that's actually what fuels you to be a better writer, because you'll learn to discipline yourself because of your purpose, not the other way around. Your purpose is not determined of you having status and fame. You can't just wait for you to achieve your goal to fulfill, to say to yourself, well, I think I'm going to live a purpose now that my kids are gone, now that I've made this money, now that, I am married. No, every season has a purpose, and it's not contingent in the season of our life, but we sell ourselves this lie. But the thing is that what we need to understand is that your purpose is your fuel to achieve something greater than you could ever possibly think. Our purpose allows us to go outside of ourselves. We know my purpose right now is to be a mom. It's just more than what I want. It's about me serving. Our purpose is here to serve a greater contribution in the world. And that's why it is outside of ourselves. Here's the thing. Your belief in your purpose shapes your decision. Your purpose right now will shape how you talk to your child, how you build your routine. It is so much bigger than you. It also will give you a greater capacity to suffer for. If my purpose is to make sure that I raise children that are disciplined, then I'm willing to suffer to learn certain disciplines so I could model it for my children. If my purpose is to build a school for women, then I need to work towards building business skills and train myself with new sets of boundaries and layer a skill after a skill and walk into failures. Even though I haven't arrived, I can suffer for it because I know that I'm here with a unique and irreplaceable purpose in this season of my life. See, your purpose gives you the fuel to say, what skill do I need to develop within myself to fulfill my purpose? It's like Mother Teresa. Her purpose was to build this home for the poor. Or Simone Biles, right? If you think about her as somebody who became an Olympic gymnast, she had to work towards fulfilling her purpose and develop the skill set of, jumping and disciplining her habits and routines, or Mother Teresa learning how to create an infrastructure, manage people in order to build infrastructure that she was called to create. So your purpose is going to actually challenge you. It's going to allow you to invite you to greater capacity that you never thought was possible. Now, how do you know you're living a life of purpose? Well, because you're fulfilled. You're happy with who you are because you know your why. You know why you're here. You don't have to wonder. There's no sense of confusion. You know why you're here. You feel important and valued. Why? Because you know nobody else can fulfill what you're called to fulfill. You feel inspired. You feel motivated, even though you're struggling. I can suffer for this because I know why I'm doing this. Mothers, or your husband, I can endure the suffering here of my husband who maybe is struggling with some kind of disease or alcohol, or perhaps not even knowing their own value, because I know my purpose is to help him become greater than his current self, becoming a whole version of him as a man. So we can suffer. We feel motivated, right? We can suffer for something that we know, we understand that purpose. It gives us greater peace. It gives us greater harmony. Even though it could be challenging, I know why I'm here. I know the meaning of my life. My life is meaningful. It has purpose. It has meaning. And so what often happens is that when we live a life of purpose, we're far more fulfilled. We're confident because we are clear in our vision. A woman without a vision goes round and round and round in a circle until she's exhausted. She still doesn't know where she's going. It gives us greater resilience. It also allows us to actually live a quality of life, because a woman with a purpose feels alive. But without a purpose, we feel empty, restless, afraid of criticism. We are easily insecure because we don't even know why we're here. We easily give up because we don't know why we're here. We can't suffer for it. We easily procrastinate. And I think there's a poor quality of life when we feel like there's no meaning in our life. And so it's really important to ask yourself, do I feel like I have a sense of purpose right now? Or am I unclear about my purpose in this season of my life? Remember that there's no one woman without an irreplaceable purpose in every season of her life. And our task is to discover that purpose so we can be fulfilled, meaning fully alive. We don't want to live a life void of purpose, but here's the roadblock. We might want to live a purpose, but we don't know how to live a life of purpose. Most women don't live a life of purpose because they're too overwhelmed and stressed, which we're going to talk about mind management skills. They can't even think of purpose. Number two, they just lack the skill set of discovering their purpose. Or maybe they don't know how to build a routine that gives them time to think about their purpose, or they don't have boundary skills that helps them to actually create the infrastructure to fulfill their purpose, or they don't know how to imagine, or they have not given themselves permission to know what they want and don't want. Number three, there's a lack of friendship of people that are pursuing their purpose. And so we are always the average of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And so maybe our friendships are not fulfilling their God-given, unique, and irreplaceable purpose. And we become a victim to how they're living their life, as opposed to us having enough strength to actually invite them to live a life of purpose. This is why we need to be confident about our purpose and inspire them to also pursue their God-given purpose. We don't know what we want. And it's also because there's so much more demanded of women than there ever was in history. So we are just, pulled from every different direction. Now, I want you to think about how the world has dramatically shifted, because this is important for you to give yourself permission to know how the world has shifted, which means that instead of you blaming yourself, you say, oh, the world has changed. This is why I don't feel a sense of purpose, because if I am ill-equipped to manage the way the world has changed, I'm drowning. Right? The world is faster, it's busier, there's lack of silence, there's no mentorship. Our family nucleus is more chaotic because there's no more mentorship, and we're not living next to our family members. And on top of that, we are distracted by the internet. So not only are we living this culture of isolation, and we're going, but also we live in a culture where there's immediate gratification and there's no place for us to actually suffer for a purpose. Not only can we find it, there's no infrastructure to help us find it and support system, but really we're easily distracted in this world of immediate gratification. And so what we want to do is really see what we're up against and why we do not feel as though our life has meaning and purpose. And so when we feel that way, is because if you look at the way the world has shifted, in the 1920s, we were given the privilege to vote. And, there's a lot of things that came with that. But one of which is that we needed then to learn how to not just have freedom, but freedom that also gave us a sense of being a voice in our society. What do we do with our freedom? How, now that we're free to work outside of our home, how do we manage our home? And how do we manage being outside of our home? How do we then manage the fact that there was a lot of massive shift in the sexual revolution in the 1970s to say, what's my role as a woman in context of this world where there was a confusion between men and women? There was this idea that, women should be men and men should, women should usurp what a man is. And there was just all these, I would say, toxicity that did not allow us actually to learn the skills that we needed to learn to manage a shift in culture. Now the internet came in the 80s, now we were available. Now there's so much information. We needed to learn how to manage information so that we could think about our purpose. And then the cell phone came, now we were available. Everybody can contact us at a split second. So now not only are we, information is available, now we're available at all times. And now in the 2000s, when social media came, guess what happens? All of a sudden we have to advertise our life, a life that we feel the need to prove ourselves. And so here we are. What is our purpose? How are we supposed to think about our purpose in every season of our life? As we think about women generationally, have they been given the right skills to actually discover their purpose in every season of their life? And in context of how the world shifted, because learning to discover your purpose in every season of your life is a skill, and it's a life skill. But if no woman trained us to discover our skill set in every season of our life, then how could our parents teach us a life of purpose? Compounding that, where when the world is going so fast, there's really no time for reflection. We've made busy a symbol of success, which is why we have this concept of midlife crisis, which I think is really code for the unprocessed life, a life without a purpose. All of a sudden, we're having a crisis. Crisis means turning point. And there's then compounding the fact that we live in this constant reaction because we're going so fast. There's more demanded of women. So as a byproduct, there's a lot of mental exhaustion. There's angry, there's deep in comparison, anxiety, stress, overwhelm. And then all of that compounds over time. Now, what we all desire as women is to be fully alive, to be fulfilled. This is why we want to live a life of purpose. We all know it. We're told, live a life of purpose, right? But then we're not shown how. Why? Because deep in our hearts, we have a universal desire to be fulfilled, meaning to be fully alive and in harmony with who we were created to be. That original design. See, if we're not growing towards our unique, irreplaceable mission, we will feel unfulfilled. We will feel as though our purpose on earth is actually not being fulfilled. And so that unique mission is so important. Compounding that, what do you think is our universal mission as women? So there's a unique mission that we hold, but there's also universal purpose for all of us women together. So what is that? Number one, we have all a universal purpose to what? Be a light in the world, to breathe life, inspire. Inspire means to breathe life. We're all called to be a light in the world, right? And you know that as evidence because we actually feel fulfilled when we are being a light in the world. Number two, we have a universal purpose to fulfill and maximize our potential, to make sure that we train ourselves. If we're here, as a great writer, then we fulfill our call to be a great writer, and that we train ourselves to fulfill that purpose, maybe to continue to study. Like I said, Mozart needed to train to become Mozart. We need to train to fulfill our unique purpose. But that's all universal to all of us. No woman is void of purpose. We have universal purpose to nurture those that we love around us. We have a universal purpose to defend what is true, good, and beautiful. Why? Because we all want what is true, good, and beautiful. Deep down inside, we know we want to live a life that is good. We want to know that life is beautiful and meaningful, and that we are living in alignment and harmony with who we're created to be. And that is our universal mission as women. And what I want us to see here is that we are creating a new, I would say, new woman that is going to inspire the world to actually fulfill their universal mission for what is good, true, good, and beautiful. That's our role. You fulfill here your purpose and embody that purpose, and you will be a walking inspiration to so many women out there who feel as though they do not have a purpose. And that is your goal here, is to awaken women to our universal purpose, but also to their unique purpose. So how do you discover your purpose? Well, we must go on a pursuit. It doesn't just happen. We actually have to make it happen. So I'm going to introduce you to this new friend called Reticular Activating System. It's called an RAS. I teach it with my children. You're going to get familiar with this. And this is this part of our brain that God designed that actually helps us to expand what we focus on. If I am pregnant, all of a sudden I start to see all the pregnant people. If I am looking for a white van, I start to see all the white van. what that part of our brain does, it actually gives us evidence for the things that we want to actually put our attention to. So it's a great thing. So what we want to do is use it to our advantage as we figure out our purpose. We want to say, well, if I'm going to be very intentional about discovering my purpose, I'm going to use that language so that I'm actually going on a pursuit to find my purpose. So you're going to activate your reticular activating system, because your purpose is not going to be discovered overnight. It has to be revealed to you over time and over the discovery of the desires of your heart. It is going to be revealed to you as you take action towards your goals and the things that you love, as you continue to design your life, as you develop your mindset and your skill set. It's going to get revealed as you get coaching and mentorship and role models. That's how my purpose in the women's school came about. Actually, I decided, I was like, I've been training women for a long time, for 15 years. And then I decided, I'm going to stop. And then I couldn't, because I just kept wanting to actually train women. And so I did it. And so I learned how to build a business. And all of a sudden I was like, I don't know how to do this. And to no avail. I was up early in the morning, late at night, and I had 6 kids and under, but I kept doing it, and it was just, I didn't get any fruit from it. And I just felt like I created a masterclass, and I didn't know how to advertise a masterclass, but I felt like that was my purpose then, to study and to create this course, but really to no avail. Anyways, so I was like, I'm done with training women. And so I kept studying because that was just part of the habit that I have. And it stumbled me and said, January, you're going to have to do something with your life because you're restless. And so I said, fine, I'll hire a coach. I actually, right now I have a shared bank account. And so I didn't want to encroach on that and put that burden, because he had funded so much of the women's school and helped me while I was raising 6 children. And that's our setup. Everything is one, we shared, but I didn't want to encroach on it. So I thought, I'm going to, get a loan myself so that there's stake in the game. So I borrowed money and I hired a coach to help me find my purpose. And at that time, I thought I was going to do this thing called Greatness Journey. We even wrote a best-selling book called Greatness Journey, and it was to help train our children's mindset and skill set. And so anyways, this coach I'm forever thankful for was saying, January, do you want to go back to what you love, or are you going to run away from it and doing what's good as opposed to what's great? And so he really pushed me. And I don't think I would have really done that without a coach. And so we do need somebody to guide us to discover our purpose as it gets revealed to us. Just like, athletes and Olympians and Simone Biles, she would have not won that gold medal without a lot of coaching and people actually helping her and creating that infrastructure of mentorship to help her achieve her purpose. And we have to create the community of women around us that are also investing in our purpose, because as we continue to develop and self-actualize, our purpose actually gets clearer and clearer. It doesn't get revealed over time, but what we want to do is to begin the journey of discovering your purpose. So how do you do that? Now we're going to talk about 3 types of purpose. This new woman understands that she has a purpose. And there's 3 purposes. Number 1, there's a purpose for a season of her life. Number 2, there's a purpose in every arena of her life. And number 3, there's a purpose in every as a legacy in her life. And she is aware of this at the same time all the time. I'm training you how to do this, but what I want you to do is to incarnate this. Eventually, this is just a way of being. You understand this. And that even though this might be new to you, as you continue to develop your skill set and your mindset, eventually it'll just be part of you. You just know there's a purpose for the season. And right now, as maybe a young girl, a teenager, a young adult, you're single, new mom, retired grandmother, or even the final season of your life, or maybe, there's a challenge, or there's a trauma, or there's a heartache, or there's a suffering. What's that purpose in context of this season of your life? This season of my life, my purpose is to build a school and create a grassroots effort to rebuild the dignity of women by creating a school system. And I'm passionate about it. And this is what I have uncovered through my journey of training women. It was revealed to me, but my purpose is in context also of as a mom of 8 and married to Ryan for almost 17 years. So I want you to think about, what is your purpose now? That you are taking responsibility for your purpose in this season of your life. And you're not saying, well, because I'm a mom, I don't have a purpose. I don't have a purpose. So think about that. You might not have the answer yet, but know that there is a purpose for this season of your life. Number 2, what is your purpose in the arena, in every arena of your life? What we want to do is think about, what is my purpose in the woman I am becoming? How am I going to maximize my purpose? What is my purpose in my health? How do I embody mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual strength so that I can be a better mom and also a better wife and also better, I would say, more energy in my career. So think about your purpose in your friendship. What is your purpose in your friendship now? Is it to mentor? Is it also to maybe accompany somebody, um, maybe through suffering? What is your purpose of your friendship now in context of the different friends that you surround yourself with? What is your purpose in your intimate life? How are you really contributing um, value and fulfilling something meaningful that you were here to create in context of your intimate life? What is your purpose in your career, your home life, or in between? How are you living that purpose? Maybe your purpose is to make sure that you are to bring light to work and you're influencing people and you're inviting people to be inspired, or maybe your purpose is to invite people to a life of wholeness. What is it? What is your purpose in your environment, your home? The physical, and it's composed of the physical and also the people around you. What is your purpose for them? How are you designing your home, your space? How are you thinking of contributing yourself in that space? What is your purpose in your wealth? How are you using your time, treasure, and talent? We're going to go deeper into this to bring greater good. What is your purpose in your family right now? Now, what I want you to think here that is so critical is actually to learn to see with eyes of wholeness, which means that every part of you impacts every part of you, which means that your purpose as a mom impacts the way you show up to your husband. It impacts the way you show up as a friend. It impacts the way you show up in your health, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. Your mental health, your health, your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual also impacts the way you show up in your wealth arena. It impacts your environment, it impacts your intimacy. I want you to think that for you, for the rest of your life, you will honor the whole woman within you and not just parts of you, because that's what we were conditioned to believe, is that only parts of us matter. And what I want to invite you to do is to see with eyes of wholeness and begin to see your purpose in context of the whole woman, that your purpose is never outside every part of you. That my purpose right now to build a school for women also is connected to how I take care of my family, how I take care of my home life, how I take care of my husband. It has to be integrated. Why? Because if you're only looking at one part of you and your purpose is just to make money, or just make sure you're raising a family and you're not seeing how they impact every part of your life, you don't want to wake up one day and you realize, what happened to my marriage? What happened to my desire to actually build a business? What happened to my body? What happened to me? Who am I? I don't even like myself. And so our purpose has to be integrated with our life of wholeness, which is why, in context of the first one, which is, what is my purpose in the season of your life? Now you're going to say, well, what is my context in every arena of my life? And to learn to see with eyes of wholeness, your purpose, and then why. Now, the why helps us to see greater conviction on what our purpose is. We look at it and it's like, oh, my purpose is to actually honor my husband, help him, achieve his career in the season of his life. That's one of my purpose. When I had 4 kids under 4, I really actually helped Ryan in his career. I took care of the children, obviously, but also I would read with him. I would process with him. And that was my why, and that's when we had 4 kids under 4. I really wasn't working. I would still train women on the side. And that impacted our home life. That impacted how I actually saw my own self-image, which means the opinion that I hold of myself. And so that's what I want you to think about, is what is your purpose in every arena of your life? And then why? Why is this important? It begins this journey of self-awareness, which means that you get to know who you are for the purpose of actually loving who you are. You can't love what you don't know. And we want is to love ourselves in a way that's ordered. And the way we do that is that we see our value and our purpose is so unique and irreplaceable that nobody will ever fulfill what we were called to fulfill. And that's how we give ourselves evidence that we are so important and so significant and so valuable, that we are deserving of what is true, good, and beautiful. That love, self-love, that becomes the foundation of the love that we give to the people around us, which we're going to talk about that. So in here, just know your why. There's no right or wrong answer. This is a process and a journey. Now, your purpose in the legacy of your life is really a combination of your purpose in the season of your life, but also in context of every arena of your life. So if you think about you living a life of purpose every season, you know what the purpose of the season, but every arena of your life, that then compounds over time, and that becomes your legacy purpose. right? That you're able to look back and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. You have fulfilled your very call in this world. You've accounted for your divine purpose, your divine mission. And that is ultimately what we want, to live a life and to look back without regret that we have fulfilled the very purpose of why we are here. We have achieved our unique and irreplaceable purpose. That's what I hope for myself. And that's what I hope for you, is that, as I look back in my life, things did not make sense. I didn't know how to discover my purpose. I didn't even know what I wanted. And so I just took action. I just kept studying. I trained myself. I learned about who I was, who I wasn't. I took one step, and one step that led me to the women's school. And even as, I look back on this, as our team sent me this, and I was always studying, because my Elena, and I'll talk to you about her, my mentor, trained me how to actually really live a life with such meaning and purpose. That was my coach and my mentor then. Kind of really trained me to make study a daily part of my life, which is what I want to invite you to know, that you have to study in order to actually discover your purpose in this world. And so this was me studying here. I'll just show you purpose. And this is me studying in context of, I think I had 5, 6 kids here. That was maybe my youngest, then maybe I was pregnant. I don't know now, and her purpose. And this was almost a decade ago. And I didn't even look at it. And as this is my third go in refilming this new one masterclass, and it really dawned on me, this new woman, that's the title of this course, New Woman. Why? Because for such a time as this, there's a new woman that's brewing within all of us. There's a death to an old woman, that old self to arise to a new woman every day, every single day of our life. And that's what we need to study. But also, that new woman is going to lead the charge for a new kind of world, a world full of hope, where the dignity of men, women, and children is revered and honored, and that we are protecting our faith, family, and freedom. That is the new woman that the world needs now. So what I want you to ponder is, how are you living your legacy in this season of your life? How do you want people to describe who you are and your purpose now in every season of your life? Who is it that you are trying to become? I want you to think about that woman who lives with such a profound purpose in her life, that she takes responsibility of discovering, why she's here. That you, as a new, the new woman that you are designing, lives with that profound purpose, where she is on a quest to fulfill and to preserve what is good in the world. That this new woman is going to usher a new kind of world, where we fight against the moral decay. We fight against, I would say, the devaluing of the human person, the devaluing of our children, and the attack on our self-worth. This new woman, I think, has a place in history to preserve our world right now from women being undefined, to introduce a new woman that is rooted in freedom and responsibility. And I think that this is the woman that the world needs now. And all of us need to armor up to discover our irreplaceable purpose. This is your call. This is my call. You and I were created for such a time as this. So armor up, women. Get ready for this battle that is within us and that is around us, to defend and raise the dignity of women for generations to come.
Okay, now, very beautiful words by January. Let's see if I can get back to that slideshow. Okay, so Mathilde, you're up.
Yeah, so now that you've heard this, we would like you to rate yourself from 0 to 10. So don't overthink this. 0 being I have no idea, and 10, absolutely 100%. So you can take notes, do this on your little paper. And so first, are you clear about your purpose right now in the season of life? So this is what she described. So just right now, if you just had a baby, if whatever's happening right now, specifically in your life, what is your purpose? Then in every arena, so she didn't talk about every arena, so we wrote them down for you. So all these arenas in your life, do you know specifically what you're trying to accomplish? And then are you equipped with the skills you need to fulfill your purpose? So do you have a good routine? Do you know how to set boundaries? Do you know how to organize a room? How to decorate your home so you feel better in it? Are you clear about your purpose at the end of your life, your legacy? So basically, what do you want people to be able to say about the woman that you were? Um, and then do you feel like your life has meaning? And are you working towards something? So take a few seconds to think about it if you want to write down some ideas and if you want to unmute yourself and share, um, we'll be happy to hear you.
Okay, so we are going to continue on. We'll keep going. Can you hear me okay over the music?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
Okay. So this is kind of, if you have your pen and paper with you, or if you just have your phone, maybe take some notes. We just want to, so January talked about feeling fully alive and feeling fulfilled. So just take some time to journal about this. So what makes you personally feel fully alive? I love hiking, and when I get to the top of a mountain and I'm so exhausted after hiking for, hours, whatever. I was in Glacier last summer and we hiked up this amazing mountain and it was so tiring. Every time you got around the bend, you thought it was the top, but then when you finally got to the top, it was so worth it for the views. So that feeling of exhaustion, but so much exhilaration. What makes you feel that way? Maybe it's being with your kids or your grandkids. Maybe it's being out in nature. Maybe it's prayer time, sipping coffee or tea, watching a beautiful sunrise or sunset. What are those things that make you feel fully alive? Maybe it's having a deep and meaningful conversation with a friend or a family member. What makes you feel fully alive? What are some things that you love doing? Just make a list. Maybe it's taking a bubble bath, having some alone time. Maybe it's going and seeing friends that you haven't seen in a while. Whatever it is, what are those things you love doing? What brings you joy? When you just, joy is just something that's deep within you. I just spent a weekend with my family for my sister's wedding, and all my nieces and nephews were there. And just seeing them, out on the dance floor, and, we went and got our nails done with my little nieces, just watching them filled with so much joy, filled me with joy. So what are those things that bring you joy? What makes you feel fulfilled? That feeling of, I'm doing exactly what I'm called to do. I'm right where I need to be. What makes you feel fulfilled? I'll just take another few seconds. Okay. So now we're going to take just a couple minutes to share a little bit about what it is that Mathilde and I do. So we're wholeness coaches with the Wholeness School. And if you didn't get a chance to finish those journaling questions, feel free, and we can send them out in the email if you'd like afterwards. But feel free to just continue journaling about them or bring it to prayer and just see, like, what are those things that make you feel fully alive? Because as Saint Irenaeus says, the glory of God is man fully alive. So when you do those things that make you feel alive, you're giving glory to God and you're fulfilling who you're called to be. So it's that simple. Just doing the things that we love can really help us feel more fulfilled and do what we're called to do. So in the Wholeness School is kind of the umbrella school, and then there's a woman's school and a man's school. Within the women's school, we have a new woman master class. And so the video that we watched earlier was from that class. So it's essentially just different videos and classes with the themes of knowing your purpose, learning how to dream, delving deep into the desires of your heart. Desire means of the Father, those desires that are placed there by God, our Father, who created us. He created us with a purpose, with a calling. He placed a call over our lives. So it's helping you just to really discover, to delve deep into those desires. And then coming up with your dreams, like, what are you called to? Whether it's, as January said, in this season of life, maybe as a new mother, an empty nester, working or staying at home, whatever season of life you're in, or maybe it's for your legacy purpose, what you're called to leave behind you after you're gone, what you're called to contribute to the people around you. And so it's helping you come up with those, knowing what you're called to, but then also gives very practical ways to get there. We have videos that you watch, and then there's homework, but I like to call it self-work because it's really like just becoming more aware of who you are, so that if there's things that are holding you back in life, you can take steps to change those things. Maybe it's learning a new skill, like setting a boundary, or maybe it's learning how to say no. Maybe it's learning how to clean your kitchen in a more efficient way. Whatever it is, whatever those skills are that are those things maybe you need to work on a little bit to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. So it's a lot of skills. It goes into all those different arenas that January talked about, your health, friendship, intimacy arenas. Um, and so it's been such an amazing, I've gone through this class many times. Mathilde has gone through it maybe a couple times. And it's just every time I go through it, I learn more. So that's something that we offer. It's a course we offer. We also have a singles boot camp, which is kind of more focused on the intimacy arena for single women who are, whether you're not, whether you're single, you're dating, you're engaged. And so it's helping you become who you were created to be so that you're ready to receive who the man of your dreams. And then we also, so these are both courses that we offer in the Women's School, the New Woman Masterclass and the Singles Boot Camp. And there's two ways to go through those courses, either one-on-one with either Mathilde or myself, or we offer group coaching as well. So you're with a group of other women who are, so you have the course, the coach, and then your community of other women who are working with you, who are growing and working on themselves. It's a place of encouragement and just a place of accountability as well. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I've gotten different courses online in the past, and I was like, oh, this looks amazing. But then I get an email about it and I totally forget about it for like, I never actually do it. So this is actually having the coach in your community is really a good accountability. It helps you kind of stay on track to get to where you want to be. And then the commitment, number 4, the women's school, we have a lot of formulas here. So this is one of them. The commitment is really on your part. It's, we can be here, we can share these things with you, but it's really when the reason we ask you to journal, what are those things that make you feel alive? That's your commitment. That's you working on yourself. That's you knowing, okay, this is what I'm called to right now. This is who the Lord is calling me to be. And so that commitment is kind of you doing the work and putting in the effort to get to where you want to be. And go ahead, Mathilde.
Yeah, so we would love to offer you a 30-minute one-on-one session. So if you're interested, we are available after this, or we can schedule a session sometime whenever you're available. So that way we can you can dive deeper into all of this. We can talk about the answers you gave to your questions, and we can go about around all the arenas. And so if you feel called to do this right now and you want to take the next step, then we'll love to offer this to you.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll send out an email after, and we'll be here to answer any questions afterwards. But yeah, we'll send out an email with a time to schedule your session for this. And I think that's all we have. This is our contact information. So if you can screenshot that or take that down. After that, we just have questions. So yeah, go ahead if you need to get that information. But yeah, so then we just want to hear from you. What resonated with you from either the video, the first one in the beginning, or January's video, anything that we said. What's standing out to you from today? Or what questions do you have? I loved how January was talking about the purpose that you were created for is so unique to you, right? Like what you're called to do in this life, no one else can fulfill. And I think that just gives me so much hope that like I don't have to wait on other people. What I'm called to do, even if people tell me, "Oh, you're crazy," like if the Lord is calling me to a certain thing, then He's going to give me the strength for that. And so like each of us has such a unique purpose that we were created for, whether it's this season or towards the end of our life. And yeah, that we were created for such a time as this, as Esther says, this moment in history, this time, we were created for this time. Would anyone else like to share what stood out to them?
I'll go.
Awesome. Thanks, Carrie.
I thought that that January's mentioning of the reticular activating system was intriguing. Um, I've thought a lot in life, like mind over matter, and I know our minds have a lot of power in them. And I've always thought of it more as like in the physical arena, like kind of talking myself out of being sick or talking myself out of a physical injury, like a running injury or something. I'm not gonna let it happen, but to use it in a positive sense to find your purpose, I'd never thought about that before. I'm gonna have to think about that more.
Yeah. I love that. That's so true. Your brain goes to work for you and finds what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see it in place. Okay, anyone else have thoughts or questions? If not, we can wrap this up. Well, we just want to thank you all for being here today. It's been so lovely seeing your faces and just we're really grateful you guys took the time out of your day to be here. And yeah, if anyone has questions, feel free to stay afterwards, but I know it's kind of getting late. So yeah, Mathilde, do you want to add anything?
No, I'm just really happy that y'all came tonight. And I hope you continue to think about this. This is really amazing work, and this is really going to help anybody, even if, just tonight, it's always good to take the time to journal about this. It's always good to take to adoration if you want in the future. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, reach out, even if it's in a week when you think about it again, you're like, okay, I need to do something about this. So we're here for you.
Yeah, awesome.
I've taken this course so many times. Sorry, I'm Serena. I had my camera off
Serena.
this whole time. I've been running around, but I really wanted to hear this because I've actually been taking this course. My mom as well was taking the course. We weren't in the same class together, but almost in the same week. So we were taking it together, and we both were learning so much. But I love to like tune in to these courses because even though I've taken the course so far and I'm on the 14th, I think we take the 14th class already. And so, but even still, like I hear something new and I wish I had time to write it down because I wanted to share more because it was reminding me, like hearing about my purpose again and reminding me about why I started this program, or why I started joined the women's school initially. I don't know. It just brings a lot to mind, and I'm definitely going to bring this to adoration now. But yeah, it's a really great course, totally worth it. In case you are still thinking about it, but yeah, it's been really really helping me to think about like dreaming. Eventually, she does talk about dreaming, like what's your dream, and even my mom is 62 and or 61 too anyways, but she's been talking about how she even now, like she's like, I had never thought to dream about now. And um, and so her and I have even been sharing, our dreams together. And it's been really, really awesome to be able to, yeah, to be able to take her words and her wisdom and try to build on that. So
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Serena. It's been such a gift to have you in our class. And Yeah, and your mom too. She's awesome.
That was what I was going to say. It's very generational. It's been like a generational thing, and now I'm like I want to change. Like I have a son, and so I want to change and help my son, and especially with different scripts that she's given, like what others think of me or not what I think of myself. That's been like a life-changing script for me that she said. So anyways, okay, that was my last thing I was going to say.
Awesome. Yeah, that's so true. There's a quote that I love is when a woman heals herself, she heals her children's children. And that's really what this work is. It's healing ourselves, it's growing, it's learning new skills that maybe we were never taught. And it's not just for us, but it's for the purpose of the people around us and for generations to come. So when a woman heals herself, she heals her children's children.
I'm going to write that one down.
That's a good one, isn't it?
There's so many good ones. All
You
right, well, I'm
say that
hopping
one
off.
again.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Oh,
Can
go
you
ahead.
say that one again?
Sure. When a woman heals herself, she heals her children's children. When a woman heals herself, she heals her children's children. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your night. I know for Mathilde, it's late. It's what time? 2 o'clock in France?
Yes.
17, yeah, a.m. So we'll let you get
Right.
some sleep. And yeah, we look forward to hearing from all of you after this as well. So thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
No, Mathilde, I insist on a 4-hour session right now.
Well, that's okay. I'm available. This is my purpose. I'll stay awake.